you're a landlord, you get to see it all, I suppose, if it has to do with apartments. Liberty pumps. This is a job that I'm doing very reluctantly at a great time and expense. I had, or have, a rental with a basement apartment, and the sewer pipe exits there to the septic. So I've installed this new toilet with great time and expense. I had to put a remodeler's plate on because the new toilet sits forward several inches. So I've got it bolted to the wood floor, and there's the $50 extension tube that runs out through the wall so I can put the macerating pump on the outside. So we'll start from the beginning here. What happened was the bedroom here, floor was soaked. You could hear the water squishing underneath. See the water? So I came here last week and we pulled up the closet and made a hole and saw all the water under here. So we made a hole here. We used a couple of existing cuts on the plywood where the sheets were cut at the factory. And I cut it over here and I cut it over somewhere else. I cut the tongue off of it. It was tongue and groove 5/8, and I pulled it up. We pulled up the styrofoam that's between the plywood and the concrete floor. We vacuumed everything up. We bleached it. We used the air dryer and did a beautiful job. And the pump seems to have been stopped. The macerating sump pump. I'll show it to you in a minute. Here's what's left of the tank that was under the floor. This part here was behind the wall. The wall was right there, and there's a giant sump pump in here, a macerating sump pump, and that was under the toilet. And we think it was leaking. We don't know that for sure. So I cut it up so I could get it out of the room, because it's 2 feet long at least, half a meter, or 2/3 of a meter, and there was only 18 inches here to move it back. So here's my new unit. I didn't know if I should show you this, but I figured you'd want to have some toilet talk. So here it is. So there's my $50 extension tube, so I could put this behind the wall where it belongs, not in the apartment. And this gizmo here, it's got 3 razor blades. And they are sharp because I stuck my finger in there stupidly and pierced my finger on one of those 3 razor blades. So this unit here costs $840 with tax, plus $50 for the extension tube, which I had to get somewhere else. It's a Liberty pump. It could be made in China. Saniflo makes one from France. I didn't like it, so I went and got this one. It was much cheaper. The Saniflo was $1,150. Then there was a $150 upgrade to the 1 horsepower versus the 1/2 horsepower, but I didn't use it. I have to give it back, and I ended up buying this one. So I've got it spaced up on a cement block, piece of treated 2x, piece of 5/8 styrofoam. I'm just about to put the silicone goopy on the extension tube and then push it into place on this rubber seal. I've got a built-in rubber seal. And I'm going to leave it away from the wall a little bit because you don't need to get back here. There's plenty of room once I push it in 2 inches. I've got a plug here. And there used to be a big pump, which is somewhere. There's the top, the vent of the, oh, here it is. Here's the Zoller cast iron macerating pump that chops up all the sewage, and that's everything. And we thought the on-off switch wasn't working properly, or the pump was, I don't know. Took the whole thing apart, did a major construction job. Well, major. Took a long time. Here's the shower. I thought maybe the water was leaking from the shower. I looked under there. I studied everything. The only thing I didn't do was have someone jump in the shower, and maybe the floor was cracked or something, but that was perfectly dry, not one drop. The water seems to be coming from that direction. I thought maybe something was leaking over there in the heating system, but the ceiling tiles are perfectly dry. There's another bathroom right up above here with a drain pipe somewhere, and this thing got blocked here, and it backed up and came out of the vent. Oh my God, with poopies and Tampexies and all kinds of... This is the bathroom, and there's another drain somewhere. Oh yeah, right over there. I can see it. Just turns the corner. So I got lots of poopies coming down. I'm going to take off this and replace it with a coupler that I have right here, because the exit from here is 1 inch. That's the macerated, water-rated exit. So I'm going to put this coupler right there and a clean out maybe. I'm thinking about what to do here. Should I have a clean out there to push the poopies through? So that's what I'm doing, in case anybody wondered. My friend with the K5 Blazer, the fellow that I sold the K5 Blazer to, has been very understanding. He was actually doing his own plumbing job in his bathroom right over there on the other side. He didn't use an escutcheon plate. Here's my friend. I don't like escutcheon plates. So that's what I'm doing. I got a one-way valve there. That's going to get canceled. I'm going to read the directions. Maybe it says to use a one-way valve that stops the sewage from coming backflow preventer. That goes that way, and it stops. There's a little flappy valve there. And I've been swimming in this there. See that water coming back? I just vacuumed that all up. You can't really see it, but it's coming back. But it could just be because the floor is I don't know. I don't know. I'm not happy replacing all this at great expense. We're talking $1,000 for the pump, the extension tube, and a box of fittings, and my time, and more plumbing, and more plumbing, and more disasters, and look at this extension tube. It's made in China. Made in China. $50, $49 plus tax. And this whole thing here was $842 with a low consumption toilet, but it's a special toilet. I'll show you something on it. And then I'll do a shout out to a friend of mine, Jack PM, who renovates apartments after people leave them all nice and slimy with little kitties' grease marks from their greasy little heads. It's amazing how some people live. The fellow that's bought my Blazer was just replacing a leaky valve here. See? That's not the way I would do my plumbing. I don't use escutcheon plates. I just make the hole just the right size. It was pretty close there, but we slipped. So I did use the escutcheon plate, but it looks so nice. Look at that. That's the exception. Oh yeah, nice and loose with a crappy escutcheon plate. I thought maybe the drain, the fellow with the plumbing store said, well, what if someone jumps in the tub and there's a leak there, but it only leaks when someone puts pressure on it by standing in it? I said, I don't know, it would have leaked a little bit, and I didn't see a drop. He ran the water from here in case it was leaking from here. I can't see this, it's behind the styrofoam insulation that's just behind this wall. But I lifted up the tiles, thinking there's water leaking somewhere, and not a stain here on this beautiful cedar paneling. Spud washer for the back of the toilet. This goes on the flush valve. Oh, I was going to mention to you, these bolts here are different spacing than what I expected. I thought because I wasn't going through the floor with my water, it exits out the back, that I just bolt this extension. When you do ceramic tile, you put a flange extension on. I thought I would just bolt this extension to the floor and then bolt my toilet bolts to this with nuts and bolts. But the spacing here, these are an inch wider than what you'd normally get on a regular toilet. So this flange just went, and I just bolted up through the plywood that I had to put under here. And I shimmed it, and I glued the shims in place. And I put some silicone grease on those pure brass bolts. They're not brass plated, they're 100% brass. I don't like these water valves, they leak when you touch them. The little rubber O-ring fell off on that. There's supposed to be a rubber O-ring there that seals against the toilet valve. It's gone. I know where it is. It's on the other side of the fill valve. So maybe I'll attach this pipe. I don't like when things are flimsy. I like things to be solidly installed. So we're going to pull the floor up here, our bit stripped. So I've got lots of Torx bits, T20s. We'll pull up the floor and we'll vacuum it up and bleach it, and maybe that water wasn't really coming from that macerating unit at all. My beautiful Zoller 50-year-old thick solid plastic. What a chore this was to cut up, and I had to fold it up so I could remove it. And cut that up. Chop, chop, chop. What you doing over there, buddy boy?
Sorting bits.
Sorting bits. Some people cut their cocaine and lace it with, what do they do? Lace it with Comet or laundry detergent. And you're just sorting your bits. I bought these in Georgia somewhere, was it? Where did we buy these, Nick? On the way back from Atlanta. And I got 1,000,000 bits, 2 containers full to the brim for $10. And everything you need is in here. Every T-bit, every square drive, even clutch heads. And we even got one here. Someone broke off the bolt and just shoved it back in the container. Boy, does this ever focus nice and sharp. Wow. Well, if it would focus, I was just about able to read that size. Oh, well, No, guess not.
I did some videos. I looked up like 4 different videos on the that wet saw from.
Oh, who's that guy that does the ranch guy? That's the veterinarian. What's his name?
I can't even think of it right now.
Oh, come on.
It's called Demolition Ranch.
Demolition Ranch. You know what he was blowing up?
What?
Flex tape. There's this
Really?
advertisement for flex tape. You just put a layer of flex tape on your boat and you can sail across the ocean. Doesn't work. They put 80 layers on to stop at 22.
Yeah.
80 layers of flex tape. Couldn't even stop at 22.
Really?
Yeah, Demolition Ranch is pretty funny. I don't have time to watch videos though. Yeah, we need a wet saw, and we got a vacuum here to blow the floor dry. And here's the Santa Flow that I bought. This was 50% more money. It was $1,300. I bought the bigger one with the 1 horsepower motor. And here's that crappy flex extension tube. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Yeah, watch the guy with the guns. Got some big guns. Extension pipe, yeah. All it is an extension pipe with a little rubber seal molded in. This one was $50 also. But this 1 horsepower, instead of the 1/2 horsepower, was $1,280 or something. I said, nah, a little bit too much money. So we bought this one, made by Liberty Pumps. It's a combination of made in China and who knows where it's made. The toilet was definitely made in China because it says it right on it. Made in China. And it's not even uniform. The oval in the front, it's not quite square or uniform, whatever. As long as the water goes down the hill and up the hill. In the case of this toilet, it's an UpFlow, an UpFlush. Here's the old toilet. I guess we'll save it. So that's the story of what I've been doing here in the basement instead of working on the K5 Blazer. I'm going to secure the pipe here somehow. I'll figure out something. What guys usually do is they just stick a shim in here, then you put a drop of glue on it. And I can't get to the shower because it's behind this styrofoam panel, but I could just unscrew it. It's screwed on, and my fan vent wasn't attached over here. It was just blowing into the joist, so I stuck that on. All those little things to do on these old buildings. This isn't even that old, built in 1967. Where's that water coming from? It keeps on creeping. They took a shower, and the water was all over the place, and I don't know. I don't think it was this thing, but here it is. 1,000 bucks plus hours and hours. 1,000 bucks plus hours and hours of my labor. I got to hook up the drain for the sink and for the shower. And that's all the news there is to report. I guess I'll be selling this pump. It's old, but it still seems to work pretty well. And that reservoir, I don't know. Luckily we have our good tool sets here and our key kicker.
We can use that pump for a sub pump.
Oh, we could. Yeah, it'll chop up anything. All right, the boiler hasn't got on to disturb me. We got oil heat here with a nice radiator to keep the basement toasty warm. We got batteries on charge, my new shoes, grinders, we got all kinds of stuff. My winter coat. I need a new one, don't I? I guess I'll get to it eventually. Working in the basement. Life and all its joys of being a landlord.